tonight. The Christmas I turned 7 years of age. We were all at home one night. I was just at home one night with my family, and the doorbell rang. Now, we lived in Brooklyn in a converted firehouse. And so for the doorbell to ring, that means that someone on the outside would put his foot up against the outside door and then pull back on this lever with full strength to hear the gong, 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 which is how we would know someone was there. So there was never any mistaking the fact that someone was at that front door. Well, this one particular night, I went running down the stairs. I opened the door, and there was a man there who was wearing a leather coat, a leather jacket actually, a scarf, a knit cap, and jeans, dressed like most men would have been dressed that evening. And he said, you know, just a second, because I need to bring a couple of boxes into the house. So I just opened the door and I ran back upstairs. And I stood at the top of the stairs, and the man brought in a box that was enormous. Then he brought in a second box that was enormous. And then I kind of just looked at him. He says, why are you looking at me like that? Don't you know who I am? And for some reason, I didn't want to answer, and I probably just looked as though I was a little confused. And he said, I'm Santa Claus. And I thought, wow. And he turned around, he walked out the door, and he closed it behind him. Well, my mom comes to the top of the stairs and says, well, who was at the door? And I said, Santa Claus. And she said, Sherry, who was at the door? And I said, it was Santa Claus. Sherry, who was at the door? This is not funny. And I began to cry a little bit. I was like, where's Santa Claus? And she said, did he look like Mr. Watson at all? I said, well, a little. Well, what was he wearing? And I said, a leather jacket, a knit cap, a scarf, and a pair of jeans. And she said, so why do you think it was Santa Claus? I said, because he said he was Santa Claus. Now, that may seem strange to you, but I have to tell you that childlike belief in who someone was, although he looked like someone else, although he even maybe sounded like the someone else he looked like, but the man said he was Santa Claus, and therefore in my 7-year-old mind he was. And I think that's exactly, though we can laugh at a story like that now, that's exactly what God wants from us. Hear me out, please. Isaiah 44:5. I am the Lord. There is no other. There is no other. Can you hear that and feel the strength of conviction in that? We don't have to be confused as to who to worship. We don't have to be confused as to who to believe. Even if he does not show up in our lives looking and sounding like we expect or doing the things that we think he ought to be doing, he is God because he said so. And that is a gift I'd like to leave for you this Christmas season, is that we need to believe the Lord for what he says. I am the Lord. There is no other. There is no God but me. Isaiah 45:5. Check it out.